Welcome to Leadership Rewired with Allison Allen, the podcast where we cut through the noise and talk about what leading really takes. No sugarcoating, no jargon, just real conversations, hard earned insights, and practical wisdom to help you lead through change. Build the cultures that work and stay human while doing it. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to come on here and talk about something that I think is just really important to share. I do a lot of posting on LinkedIn, mostly about leadership and change, and I do some personal updates of things going on with my family. I also spend a lot of time reading other people's posts. And, I would say for the last year, there's a lot of posts around AI, artificial intelligence. And I think because of the way it's being positioned and the way it's being talked about in corporate America, a lot of people are afraid. So this particular post was about how AI was going to leave certain generations behind. More specifically, the reference was how it was going to be leaving Gen X and above. If you are Gen X, boomer, or a traditionalist, you're going to be left behind. All of it's bullshit. I think the thing that I would say, first of all, if you're talking about Gen X, we don't need to discuss the fortitude and the resilience in the Gen X generation. We can talk about that's another podcast. But I do want to talk about how I approach AI and have actually become to depend on technology to run my business. When I was in corporate America, how I leveraged it, and ways that you can take baby steps to move towards something that is here. It is not going anywhere. And by the way, this isn't a how-to video. This is about that internal activity that prevents us from leaning into something. I know this is kind of interesting for me to say, but I have always approached technology with curiosity. That's just the way I've leaned into things. And it's something I want to promote. I think something about being curious allows us to be accepting that we have fear, but not necessarily be paralyzed by fear. There is fear of the unknown. We keep hearing stories, what it's going to do to us. If you're in recruiting, AI is supposed to replace recruiters. If you're in sales, AI is replacing the entry-level sales jobs. If you are in an operations function, those tactical skills that they normally depend on people are being replaced by AI. Some of this might be true. But the reality of the situation is that you can be curious enough with AI that you can actually start to be part of some of those conversations within your business unit so that you can be part of the team that starts to embrace AI or help to drive change within your team around AI. So the fear is something that we've got to not look at as I don't understand it, I don't know it, so therefore I'm going to avoid it, and more around I'm a little bit nervous about it, but how do I lean into it? And that is by using curiosity, which we're going to talk about. There's notion of mindset shifts. I think we have to get our mind around, I am not technical enough, so therefore I cannot embrace AI. The reality of the situation is if you bank online, you are using AI, you are technical enough. If you buy groceries online, you are technical enough. If you order an Uber, you are technical enough. This is not about understanding how to code. This is about having enough curiosity about an application to use it to help you do your job. It's everywhere. It's on LinkedIn, Twitter, written in magazines, it's in big conferences. All they're talking about is AI, and all of this can just feel like information overload. What do I do with it? I would encourage you, similar to all social media, limit your intake. Be in control of how you're taking in information. If you're reading all of this, you in essence are taking it in the way in which they are asking you to take it in and trying to parse it out in your brain and figuring out what it's going to do to help you. I would say go to one source, maybe two. Always go to sources you trust and learn. AI can feel like a black box. It's dense. I can't figure it out. The people telling me to embrace it are not people I trust. Why would I embrace something people I don't trust are telling me to trust? You need to understand what is coming toward you. If you're fortunate enough in an organization where they're asking you to embrace something, you need to figure out a way to embrace it. If you're in an organization where they're saying, hey, we're going to look at how technology can replace this activity or process or skill, you need to get on board. You need to embrace it. You need to volunteer and say, willing to be part of that project so I can learn and use AI for this or that. Here are some things that I would suggest. I think there is something around leading with curiosity and not perfection. Our need for control, our need for a strategy, our need to have it just right before we do something is actually going to be the thing that's going to keep us behind. When you operate in curiosity, you're willing to figure things out on your own. So lead with curiosity, not perfection. The other thing to think about is pick one tool. There used to be 10 or 100. Now there are thousands of AI apps. Choose one. I know this is going to sound like a broken record, but the one I would recommend to start with, ChatGPT. And if you were going to add a second one, I would say add Grammarly. Now, the reason why I suggest ChatGPT is because ChatGPT helps you with writing, it can help you with looking things up, it can help you with understanding how to do something. I am leveraging ChatGPT right now to help me build a skill that I need to build, which is called business development. I would say start there. If you were going to add a second one, I would say Grammarly. The reason why I like Grammarly is because it will help you rewrite sentences. It will help you push your thought further. That tool is really, really super helpful. And in combination, they work really great in terms of how they come together to help you with writing papers, a letter, or thinking through something differently. The other thing that I would say is never start these tools with how do I, or please write me a letter. I like to use both of these tools by inserting my thoughts and perspectives. Now, this is where both tools are learning about you. If you've been banking online, that application is learning how you do banking. If you order an Uber, even the mistakes when you are clicking, it is learning that you make these mistakes. How does it make it easier for you? It's the same thing. You're asking a question of ChatGPT and you're putting information in Grammarly. It is learning how you use it. Both of these you can start for free. And if you want to push it, you can sign up for certain plans. I'm not promoting them for that reason. I'm promoting it because that's a good way to start. The other thing that I would sort of encourage you to do is do something for a short period of time. 10 minutes. Spend 10 minutes in ChatGPT and just ask it a question. Ask it about the sky, trains, shopping, checkbooks, the history of leadership. Ask it anything and see what it comes back with. If it doesn't have an answer, the beauty of ChatGPT is it will own up that it doesn't have an answer. Reflect like a self-leader is the other thing I would throw out there, and that's really around, what's going on for me while I'm using these tools. Am I afraid or am I curious? Why? Right? Think again, why am I scared of something that doesn't physically have arms to hurt me? How do you shift the power back to you being in control to what this experience feels like? So reflect on that. I'm pulling my 75-year-old mother into using AI. She wants to start a podcast. She's actually started the podcast, and we get on the phone for about an hour every Friday. We use technology to help her with her podcast. My goal is my 75-year-old mom will be using 3 or 4 AI tools to produce and post her podcast. She is fully capable of doing it. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that it's about the tools. You do not need to be an AI expert. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to try something. You need to ask a question. You can ask for a recipe. You don't need to be in control. Trust me, coming from somebody like me, where everything that I do is about controlling the beginning, the middle, and the outcome. And I am learning at this stage in my life, especially with running a business, that I don't need to be in control, that I need to be curious. I need to dip my toe. I need to try something. We are entering a time where There's so much change coming at us, and it's happening so fast. People are going to have to get themselves through change. Waiting for someone to provide clarity or to give you the skills or the toolkit to do something, those days are gone. The people who survive, stay employed, and remain successful are the ones that are willing to just try something and embrace it. So again, if you go back to the notion of being curious, and by the way, you can ask ChatGPT, how do I be more curious about how I approach things? The future isn't about waiting until you feel comfortable anymore. It's not about a plan or a strategy. The future is really about how do you lean in this moment? How do you look out for yourself? And again, be curious with things that are coming at you and the change that's happening. Here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing you do every week, whether it be emails or captioning or planning for the week, your kids' activities, and ask AI to help you. That's it. And then I want you to come and I want you to comment and tell me about it. You can put in the comments what you actually asked if you want. I mean, I would love to see that. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can comment, hey, Allison, I tried and it did this. Or, hey, Allison, I put this in and it came back with this and it's been fabulous. And I want you to try to do this on a consistent basis for a month. I want you to try going in and asking it to help with this activity. I remember when I was at Deutsche Bank, we used to plan change over 3 to 5 years. It used to be something you could plan around. And the reality is that change is here and it's happening every single day. And it feels loud, big, ominous, and scary. What I want to say to you is that there's a lot of change coming, but AI is one of those ones in which I think you can lean into it and embrace it in a way that makes sense for you. Start with embracing it by using curiosity. Hopefully this video was helpful. I'm really trying to get better at this. I love the Leadership Rewired podcast and the leadership work that I do. This is becoming very quickly something I'm super excited about doing every week. Thank you. Speak soon. Thanks for listening to Leadership Rewired with Allison Allen. If today's episode hit home, share it with a leader who needs it. And if you want more truth talk leadership insights, subscribe wherever you listen, follow me on LinkedIn, and keep leading with clarity even when it's hard. See you next time.